leg cramps while sleeping. They strike without warning, jolting you awake in the middle of the night, your calf muscles rock hard, locked in pain. You rub, you stretch, you wait for it to pass, only to lie there wondering when the next one will hit. If you're tired of waking up to that same stabbing pain, if you want to keep your legs strong, steady, and cramp-free through the night, the solution starts with what you feed your body. Today, we're uncovering the top 10 vitamins and minerals proven to not only stop nighttime cramps, but also strengthen your legs for the long run. From boosting muscle function, to protecting bone density, to improving circulation so your muscles stay relaxed while you sleep. These nutrients can transform the way you move and rest. Imagine walking without stiffness, climbing stairs without fatigue, and sleeping through the night without that sudden, breath-stealing cramp. Whether you're someone who loves morning walks, enjoys dancing, or simply wants to wake up without fear of leg pain, this video is for you. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, when was the last time you had a leg cramp at night? Share it in the comments, and feel free to ask any questions along the way. And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our most important health tips here on Senior Health Daily. Let's make your nights pain-free and your days stronger, together. Let's start with a nutrient that quietly controls muscle relaxation and balance. 1. Magnesium. We're starting with magnesium for a reason. You've probably heard of calcium for your bones or vitamin D for your muscles, but magnesium? It doesn't get nearly enough credit. And yet, if your legs cramp at night, if you wake up with that sudden tightening in your calves or thighs, magnesium might be the quiet hero you've been missing. Here's why. Every time your muscles move, whether it's lifting your foot to step into the shower or catching yourself when you trip over the edge of a rug, they're relying on a delicate balance between contracting and relaxing. Magnesium is the mineral that makes that relaxation possible. Without enough of it, your muscles can fire too hard, lock up, and refuse to let go. That's the cramp. That's the sleepless night. And here's the part most people don't realize. Magnesium also plays a role in calming overactive nerve signals. If you've ever felt your legs twitch or jerk just as you're trying to drift off, that's often your nervous system misfiring. With the right magnesium levels, those signals smooth out, your muscles relax, and your sleep becomes deeper and less interrupted. But let me ask you, how often are you actually eating magnesium-rich foods? I'm not talking about the occasional spinach salad or handful of almonds. I mean, are you consistently giving your body what it needs every single day? Because here's the tricky part. Magnesium gets depleted fast. Stress burns through it. Certain blood pressure medications drain it. Even long-term use of acid reflux drugs can strip it away. By the time you're feeling cramps, you may already be running low. Now, will magnesium fix every single leg cramp? Not necessarily. The science is honest about that. In some cases, especially for older adults, the results are mixed. But here's what's undeniable. Magnesium is essential for overall muscle health, nerve function, and energy production. Without it, your legs are working with one hand tied behind their back. So what would it feel like to go a whole week without waking up in pain? To stretch in the morning without wincing? Imagine making something as simple as a baked potato with skin, sprinkling on pumpkin seeds, and knowing you're feeding your legs the fuel they need. Keep that picture in your mind, because magnesium works even better when it's paired with our next nutrient, one that acts like sunlight for your muscles, and without it, your legs can lose strength faster than you think. 2. Vitamin D. If magnesium is the mineral that helps your muscles relax, vitamin D is the spark that keeps them firing strong in the first place. You might think of vitamin D as the bone vitamin, but for your legs, it's so much more than that. Without enough vitamin D, your muscles can lose power, your reaction time slows, and your balance gets shaky. And you and I both know that when your balance goes, so does your confidence. Let me ask you, have you noticed yourself reaching for the wall or the back of a chair when you stand up quickly? Maybe stairs feel a little harder, or your legs feel heavy halfway through a walk. That's not just age. Often, it's your muscles struggling because they're not getting the support they need from vitamin D. Here's the catch. As you get older, your skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight. And if you're spending less time outdoors, maybe because of mobility issues, bad weather, or just being cautious about sun damage, that gap gets even bigger. Before you know it, you're low on vitamin D, and your legs are paying the price. Research has shown that seniors with healthy vitamin D levels have stronger muscle fibers, better coordination, and a lower risk of falls. In one study, those with enough vitamin D didn't just walk more confidently, they reacted faster when they started to lose their balance. That split-second difference can mean the difference between a stumble and a fall. Now think about how easy it could be to turn this around. 15 to 30 minutes of sunlight on your arms and legs a few times a week can make a difference. Add in foods like salmon, mackerel, fortified dairy, or even certain mushrooms, and you're building a safety net for your legs. And if those aren't enough, supplements can fill the gap, often as little as 800 to 1,000 IU a day. But here's where I want you to stay curious, because vitamin D works hand in hand with another nutrient. Without it, your bones can be strong, but your muscles won't contract properly. And without that muscle strength, every step you take is just a little less steady than it should be. That's where we're heading next, to the building block that lets your muscles and bones work in perfect sync. 3. Calcium. If vitamin D is the spark, calcium is the structure that holds everything together. You already know calcium builds strong bones, but here's what most people miss. Without enough calcium, your muscles can't contract the way they're supposed to. Every step you take, every time you stand up from a chair, every moment you catch yourself from losing balance, that depends on a little burst of calcium moving in and out of your muscle cells. Have you ever stood up, felt your legs wobble, and wondered if it was just one of those days? Sometimes it's not about being tired. It's about your muscles not getting the signal to fire at full strength. And when that happens over and over, your legs start to feel weak, your stride shortens, and even a short walk can leave you feeling unsteady. For your bones, the story is just as urgent. As we get older, our bones lose density. That's a natural part of aging, but without enough calcium, that process speeds up. And that's when small accidents turn into big problems. A simple trip over a rug could mean weeks, or even months, of recovery from a fracture. If you've ever known someone whose independence changed overnight after a hip fracture, you understand why this matters so much. The good news? You don't have to overhaul your life to get enough calcium. Yes, dairy products like milk, yogurt, and cheese are classic sources, but so are leafy greens like kale and bok choy, fortified plant-based milks, tofu, almonds, and even sardines. The key is consistency, making sure your body has that steady supply every single day. And here's where vitamin D comes back into play. You can eat all the calcium in the world, but without vitamin D, your body can't absorb it properly. That's why these two nutrients are a team. They work together to keep your bones solid and your muscles responsive. But calcium isn't the only piece of the puzzle when it comes to movement. Even if your bones are rock solid, your legs can still feel heavy, clumsy, or disconnected. That's because strength isn't just about muscles and bones. It's also about the nerves that control them. And when those nerves start to slow down, your legs can feel like they belong to someone else. That's exactly what we're talking about next. 4. Vitamin B12. You can have strong bones and well-fed muscles, but if the nerves controlling them aren't firing properly, it's like having a car with the engine running but no steering wheel. That's where vitamin B12 comes in. And if your legs have ever felt heavy, numb, or just out of sync with what your brain is telling them to do, you need to hear this. Think back to the last time you tripped on something small, maybe the edge of a rug or the curb outside. Was it that you didn't see it? Or that your legs didn't react quickly enough? Vitamin B12 is essential for the protective coating on your nerves called myelin. Without it, The electrical messages between your brain and your muscles slow down or get scrambled. That's why people low in B12 often say their legs feel slow, clumsy, or even like they're carrying extra weight. Here's the part that surprises most people. B12 deficiency is extremely common in older adults, even for those who think they're eating well. It's not just about what you eat, it's about whether your body can absorb it. As you get older, your stomach produces less acid, and you need a special protein called intrinsic factor to absorb B12 from food. Many medications for heartburn or acid reflux can also interfere with that process. So, how do you know if you're low? Heavy legs, tingling or numbness in your feet, loss of balance, and unexplained fatigue are all red flags. And if those symptoms creep in slowly over months or years, it's easy to write them off as just getting older. But it's not. The good news is that once you restore your B12 levels, your nerve function can improve, your legs can respond faster, and your coordination can come back. You'll find B12 in animal foods like meat, fish, dairy, and eggs, as well as in fortified cereals and plant-based milks. If absorption is an issue, supplements or even B12 shots prescribed by your doctor can make a huge difference. And unlike some vitamins, extra B12 is generally safe because your body gets rid of what it doesn't use. Now here's something to think about. Strong, well-connected nerves are critical, but they need the right environment to keep your muscles moving smoothly. That means having the proper balance of minerals inside and outside your muscle cells. And one of the most important minerals for that, one you've probably heard of but might not be getting enough of, is what we're covering next. 5. Potassium. If vitamin B12 is what keeps the messages between your brain and your legs quick and clear, potassium is what makes sure those messages actually reach your muscles in a way they can use. Think of potassium as the signal stabilizer, the mineral that balances the fluid and electrical activity inside and outside every muscle cell. Without enough of it, those signals misfire. Your muscles tighten when they shouldn't, and you're left with cramps, tremors, or that uneasy feeling your legs might give out. Have you ever gotten out of bed in the morning, taken 2 steps, and then, bam! A sharp cramp grabs your calf? Or maybe you've felt your legs start to tremble after standing in line for too long. That's often potassium talking. Low levels mean your muscles can't relax properly. And over time, that constant strain can make your legs feel weaker and less steady. But potassium's role doesn't stop at muscle function. It also helps keep your bones strong by neutralizing acids in your body that can leach calcium out of your skeleton. That means every time you get enough potassium, you're not just protecting your muscles, you're also defending your bone density. Now here's the good part. Potassium isn't hard to find, but you do have to be intentional about it. Sure, bananas are the food everyone thinks of, but sweet potatoes, spinach, beans, avocados, and even a baked potato with the skin have more potassium than a banana. The key is variety, making sure you get it from different sources throughout the week. And while potassium can make a huge difference in how your legs feel and perform, it works best alongside another nutrient that's not as famous but just as critical. Without it, the calcium you're working so hard to get from your diet can end up in the wrong places, like your arteries, instead of building up your bones and keeping your joints moving smoothly. That's the vitamin we're heading into next, and it might just be the missing link in your leg health strategy. 6. Vitamin K. If potassium is the steady hand that keeps your muscle signals calm and balanced, vitamin K is the traffic controller that tells calcium exactly where to go. Without enough vitamin K, the calcium you eat can drift into places you don't want it, like your arteries or soft tissues, instead of being locked into your bones where it belongs. And when calcium ends up in the wrong place, not only do your bones stay weaker, but your circulation can suffer. Your joints can feel stiffer, and your legs can lose the easy range of motion you used to take for granted. Have you noticed that your knees feel tighter after sitting for a while, or that it takes a few steps before they loosen up? That stiffness isn't always just from aging or arthritis. Sometimes it's a sign that your joints and bones aren't getting the full benefit of the nutrients you're giving them. Vitamin K helps activate a special protein called osteocalcin, which literally locks calcium into your bone structure. It also helps reduce inflammation in your joints, which can make walking and climbing stairs feel more fluid and less like you're forcing rusty hinges to move. There are actually two main forms of vitamin K. K1 is found mostly in leafy greens like spinach, kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard. K2 comes from fermented foods like natto, certain aged cheeses, egg yolks, and liver, and K2 tends to stay active in your body longer. Both forms are valuable, and mixing them into your diet can give you steady support for your bones, muscles, and joints. Now, there is one caution here. If you're taking blood-thinning medication like warfarin, you need to work with your healthcare provider before making big changes to your vitamin K intake. That way, you get the benefits without interfering with your treatment. When you give your body enough vitamin K, it's like fine-tuning the gears between your muscles, bones, and joints so they work together smoothly. And speaking of fine-tuning, the next nutrient is a master at keeping your nerves and muscles in sync while also fighting off the inflammation that can sap your strength. It's one you might already be eating, but maybe not in the amounts your legs really need. 7. Vitamin B6. If vitamin K is the traffic controller for your bones, vitamin B6 is like the signal booster for your nerves and muscles. Without enough of it, the messages your brain sends to your legs can get weak, delayed, or scrambled. And when that happens, you might notice your feet dragging just a little, your steps feeling less certain, or your legs tiring out sooner than they should. Have you ever started a short walk, thinking you'd be fine, and halfway through your legs feel heavy, like you're carrying sandbags? That's not just fatigue. It can be your muscles working without the proper nerve support and oxygen delivery. Vitamin B6 plays a key role in producing hemoglobin, the part of your red blood cells that carries oxygen. When your muscles get the oxygen they need, they can go further, recover faster, and feel lighter with each step. But B6 isn't just about energy. It also helps regulate inflammation in your muscles and joints. Low-grade inflammation is sneaky. It can make your legs feel stiff in the morning, slow to warm up, or sore after even light activity. By keeping inflammation in check, B6 can help your legs feel more flexible and ready to move. You'll find vitamin B6 in poultry, fish like salmon and tuna, potatoes, bananas, chickpeas, and fortified cereals. The key is regular intake, because your body doesn't store large amounts of it. That means what you eat today directly affects how your legs feel tomorrow. So let me ask you this. How different would your week feel if you could walk longer without that dragging, tired sensation? If you could stand up from a chair and feel steady from the very first step? That's the kind of change B6 can help bring, especially when it's working alongside the next nutrient on our list. Because here's the thing. Even with strong nerves and steady muscles, your legs can still underperform if they're not getting the right kind of fuel to turn food into usable energy. And the next vitamin we're covering is the key that unlocks that fuel. 8. Vitamin B1. Even if your nerves are sharp and your muscles are ready, they still need the right fuel to actually do the work. That's where vitamin B1, also called thiamine, comes in. Think of it as the ignition switch in your body's energy system. Without enough B1, it's like trying to start a car with a dead battery. Your muscles want to move, but they can't generate the power to follow through. Have you ever felt like you're running on empty before the day's even started? Maybe you get halfway through grocery shopping and feel like you've been on your feet for hours. That dragging, low-energy feeling can happen when your body isn't turning the food you eat into energy efficiently. And thiamine is essential for that process. B1 also plays a role in keeping your nervous system running smoothly. That means it's not just helping your legs push forward. It's making sure your coordination stays intact so you can walk with confidence. Without enough of it, you might feel clumsier, slower to react, or less stable when you change direction or step off a curb. The good news is that thiamine is found in a variety of foods you might already eat: whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, pork, and fortified breads and cereals. The challenge is that B1 is water-soluble, so your body doesn't store much of it. That means you need a steady supply, and if your diet is low in variety, or if certain medications or health conditions interfere with absorption, it's easy to come up short. So here's something to think about. What would your day look like if your legs had all the energy they needed, right from the first step in the morning to the last one at night? No midday slump, no hesitation to take the long route, no second guessing whether you can make it through the activity you enjoy. And here's where we set the stage for the next part. Because while thiamine fuels your muscles, the next nutrient works behind the scenes to repair, rebuild, and protect them, while also keeping your immune system ready to back you up. 9. Zinc. If thiamine is the ignition switch for your body's energy, zinc is like the maintenance crew that keeps everything in good working order. It's not just about fighting off colds, although it does that too. It's about repairing muscle tissue, supporting bone health, and helping your body recover so your legs are ready for whatever you ask of them tomorrow. Have you noticed that after even light activity, maybe gardening for an hour or taking a walk with a friend, your legs feel sore longer than they used to? Or that a small bruise takes forever to fade? That's your body telling you it's not rebuilding and repairing as efficiently as it could. Zinc is a big part of that process, working at the cellular level to help tissue heal and keep your immune system strong enough to back up those repairs. Here's something else you might not know. Zinc also plays a role in bone density. Without enough of it, your bones can slowly lose strength, making them more vulnerable to fractures. And you already know that for someone over 60, a single fracture can be a life-changing event. Zinc is found in foods like lean meats, shellfish, beans, seeds, nuts, and whole grains. But as you age, your ability to absorb zinc can decline, especially if your diet is lower in animal protein or if certain medications interfere with absorption. That's why even people who think they're eating enough can still be low. So think about this. What would it feel like if your legs not only had more strength and energy, but also recovered faster after activity? If you could do your favorite things without worrying that you'd pay for it with 2 days of soreness afterward? That's the kind of behind-the-scenes difference zinc can make. And while zinc keeps your legs in fighting shape, there's one more vitamin we need to talk about. One that ties everything together by protecting your muscles and circulation from the damage that builds up over time. It's our final stop in this list, and it might just be the antioxidant boost your legs have been waiting for. 10. Vitamin E. We've talked about minerals and vitamins that strengthen, energize, and repair your legs. But there's one more piece to the puzzle. Vitamin E. You might think of it as the skin vitamin because it's in so many creams and lotions, but inside your body, it's a powerful antioxidant that protects your muscles and circulation from wear and tear. Every time you move, your muscles produce tiny amounts of oxidative stress. Think of it like the microscopic rust that forms on metal over time. A little is normal, but as you get older, your body's defenses against that rust can weaken. Vitamin E helps neutralize that damage before it slows you down, keeping your muscle fibers healthier and your circulation flowing. Have you ever noticed that after certain days, maybe when you've been more active than usual, your legs feel not just tired but almost burned out the next day? That lingering fatigue can be a sign your muscles are taking longer to recover from oxidative stress. By giving your body enough vitamin E, you're helping those muscles bounce back faster and stay resilient. Vitamin E also supports healthy blood vessels, which means better circulation to your legs. And better circulation means your muscles and nerves get the oxygen and nutrients they need to perform, whether you're walking to the mailbox or dancing at your granddaughter's wedding. You'll find vitamin E in foods like almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, spinach, and avocado. The key here is to get it from a variety of sources so your body has a steady supply. Now, imagine what happens when you combine vitamin E's protective power with everything else we've covered. Your muscles are fueled, your nerves are firing, your bones are solid, your balance is sharper, and your recovery is quicker. This is where the pieces start to click together. And it's also where we close the loop back to that first cramp you felt in the middle of the night. Because what we're talking about isn't just preventing cramps. It's about reclaiming the freedom to move without fear. And that's exactly what we're going to bring home in the conclusion, tying all 10 nutrients together into a clear path forward for your legs, your independence, and your peace of mind. Remember how we started? That sudden cramp in the middle of the night? The one that steals your sleep and leaves you rubbing your calf in the dark? By now, you can see it's not just bad luck or a normal part of aging. It's your body's way of telling you it needs more of the nutrients that keep your muscles strong, your nerves sharp, your bones solid, and your balance steady. We've covered 10 powerful allies: magnesium to help your muscles relax, vitamin D to keep your muscles firing and your bones strong, calcium to give those bones their structure, B12 to keep the signals between your brain and legs quick and clear, potassium to keep your muscle contractions smooth, vitamin K to guide calcium exactly where it belongs, B6 to give your muscles oxygen and fight inflammation, B1 to turn your food into fuel, zinc to repair and rebuild, and vitamin E to protect and preserve. Each one plays a different role, but they're all working toward the same goal: giving you legs that are steady, reliable, and ready for whatever you want to do. So here's my question to you. What would your life look like if you gave your legs everything they needed starting today? Would you walk a little further? Stand a little taller? Dance a little longer? Would you stop worrying so much about that next cramp or that next fall and start focusing on the things you love instead? This isn't about overhauling your life overnight. It's about small, steady changes. Adding a handful of nuts here, a serving of leafy greens there, a few minutes of sunlight on your skin, or a simple supplement when food alone isn't enough. Every choice you make moves you closer to stronger legs and a more confident step. You've made it to the end, and that tells me you care about your health and your independence. Don't let this just be information you heard once and forgot. Put it into action. Try adding one new nutrient this week, and notice how your body responds. Then build from there. Because your legs don't have to get weaker with age. They can carry you forward, steady, strong, and unstoppable, if you give them the right tools. And now, you know exactly where to start. So which of these 10 will you focus on first? Let me know in the comments. I read every one, and your story might just inspire someone else to take their first step towards stronger legs.